Ladies and gentlemen, here's the motherfucking tea.
Oh man, I'm back, baby! What's up, all? I'm Scott Kaiser-Neko Frericks, and this is the My Hero Academia Weekly Review. Up to my over there, I was pointing in the wrong direction, is...
Hi, what's up? They're my heroes too. We can call them our hero.
Yes, this is our hero review. And then over here is somebody who's out of town, much like last week, how I was last week, because I was on vacation. Fuck y'all. But luckily, I found the most flattering picture of him that I possibly could.
Look at him.
Hey, look, the man is rocking it. You can't deny. You can't. So, I was out last week, which made me very angry. But at least, okay, so I was angry because I was out during the big reveal of this season. I was really sad to be out during the big reveal of this season.
It did seem like a pivotal episode for you to miss out on. So, feel like some crazy stuff happened there. If you've got thoughts you'd like to share, since we missed your perspective last week, I'd be down to hear it.
So this is really what that last week was really what this whole season has been building up to. I mean, obviously, right? Like, this is the very end of the last season, the very start of this one keeps talking about the vestiges within Deku, and finally we see what the fuck's going on, and we just learned amazing things about One for All, like crazy things about One for All. Things that, like, we just kind of assumed that the power was just the super strength. But what we now know is that no, it is more than that. And for the first time, it's showing itself in full.
It's really neat that, like, it's like, because I feel like they had mentioned before that, like, every user was, kind of taking the power and kind of putting some of themselves in it while just, like, sending it forward basically to the next user. And I always thought it was weird that it's just like, well, it just seems like it's manifesting like super strength, which, is neat, but not. I feel like if we got a power with a legacy like that, it would do something cooler. And now the show is like, you're right, it would. Here it is.
Yeah. And the last episode, man, I don't have too much to say about that last episode, particularly because, like, you guys probably already touched on the lady with the girl with the ability to shrink, and she's the one who can shrink, or is she the one who can move stuff? No, there's the one girl.
There's Emily who can psychically move things, and I just remembered that because I thought her hero name Emily was weird.
Yeah.
But then also the girl who can, she can shrink and grow things. However, they specify cannot do it to living things. So, no male enhancement via her powers.
By the way, did you notice at all that this is that the whole, like, shrinking and growing screws and nuts and bolts and stuff like that was shockingly similar to the filler material
to that
we
filler
got.
Character we had?
Yeah, the filler ninjas that we got a while back. Like, I was actually
Did they specify metal things for her? Because I know that guy had a metal specificity.
I don't know if they specified metal.
She just happened to be throwing a lot of metal stuff.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of... I think there were things besides metal, but considering most of the material there was metal, it just kind of makes sense that it all ended up being metal. But yeah, and then I'd completely forgotten what double strikes, like the guy with the double strike ability was. I just remember that
he's like a cool psychic.
Yeah, he can do a double strike, like, and I thought that was so neat. And wow, what a great group of heroes to be together. Basically, like, that was actually really impressive. That was really cool.
That seems like a team that was set up ahead of time. It does not feel like lots were drawn. Unlike
Deku's team, which definitely felt like a motley crew.
Here's Deku and kind of the rest of them.
Yeah. It was actually really interesting, though, to see how they worked together. Mineta's ability is actually really coming into its own. We see just how he can utilize it in crazy ways. Probably not incredibly realistic ways. I'm pretty sure that a lot of this stuff would be not as feasible in real life. But he actually got to do some cool stuff this time around.
He got some neat movement options via his grapes, his head balls.
Yeah, besides the sexual harassment, but I mean, we kind of come to expect that from him now. So
yeah.
I will say, favorite fucking joke in maybe the entire season is after he's thrown, he still keeps the same cadence as he's yelling, even though his eyes are like fucking, he can barely keep them open and his mouth is just fluttering in the wind. I actually laughed really fucking loud at that moment. I was like, that
one gotcha.
That got me really badly. I like, stop dodging. I lost that. That was actually really good. I don't even remember that from the manga. I made that the fucking thumbnail. I know that it doesn't have anything to do with what the episode's actually about. I don't care. It's funny as fuck.
We all know the deeper plot of this show is figuring out exactly how Mineta fits into this world of heroes.
Exactly.
Like, that's obviously the underlying story.
Who cares about the traitorous spy within UA? Who cares about the mysteries of One for All? How is Mineta gonna become a hero?
So I think Horikoshi is a spectacular author. Part of my brain feels like he forgot that there was a mole at UA. It's just like, and it was like a thing that like no one talked about forever. And then it's like, oh wait, that's something we kind of mentioned and just like wasn't a thing for a while, or never felt like it was brought up when it would be opportune, maybe. So for it to kind of come back and just all of a sudden be like, hey, by the way, that's still a thing. Like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say it outright. Yeah, that never really gets resolved.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, like,
it felt like it was mentioned and like it was going to play into like events that were happening at that time, and then it just kind of never did.
Yeah, maybe it did. Honestly, if it
like,
did,
was there a mole there that I never realized was a mole that at some point they pointed out?
I feel like that never got resolved. I personally feel like that never got resolved. Maybe they could still resolve it. I don't know. But like at this point, it almost seems like he had something set up, but then he didn't want to commit to it, so he just kind of abandoned it. Which ultimately, when you think about it, oh well. Like it's not like it had to be followed up on. A spy in UA doesn't necessarily need to be followed up on necessarily, but it did seem like a kind of a big deal.
Think of the children, Scott. It needs to be followed up on. Their lives are at stake.
Okay, right. But yeah, I remember at one point people thought it was Aoyama. During that scene where he shows up at
part where he was a little shady.
Oh yeah, everyone was like, "Oh fuck, it's the Frenchman." But yeah, it's these two episodes in particular are a big deal. The fact that Deku doesn't just have super strength anymore is a big fucking deal. We've been watching him throughout this entire series with an idea of what his power set was, of what he'd have to learn, and now, like, I can't even imagine a twist in another shonen quite as well. No, actually, probably I would go to Naruto, like, maybe Sage Mode and shit like that. That might be it. Like when he,
yeah, but even then, like stuff like that, like. For Naruto in particular, I feel like that's like he's going to be doing mostly the same stuff. He's just kind of better at it now. This feels like this is like Deku's power is super strength, and he kind of just utilizes that in different ways. This is kind of a very big departure from that. There's no real way to make ropes you can swing on because you were so strong.
By the way, everyone might notice the name of this review episode, which is Horikoshi Really Loves Spider-Man, and fucking boy, between Seto, between Deku's new ability, between Shinso literally doing a Spider-Man, just fucking
Spider-Man and around with that scarf.
Which I know I've said this so many fucking times this season, but I feel like every time I see it happen, I have to gush a little bit. The direction in this season is so goddamn good. The camera angles, the color choices during certain scenes, the movements, the angles, the animation, everything in this season feels like a legitimate step up from the last one, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say, I'm really, really happy to see how strong this is coming in. Also, I'm also really happy to see, oh my god, Monoma. Monoma
was great this episode. I was so glad with the stuff he got to do.
Dude, the building tension for when Shinso is going over what he did. And she is like certain he's definitely got Shinso's power. Monoma definitely has Shinso's power, so I can't say anything. And Monoma keeps egging her on, like, hey, don't you want to know what's going on?
Come on.
And when he finally reveals, like, the final act of the supporting character. And then fucking...
Second impact.
Yeah, oh, holy shit. I did not expect that. Like, I'm really glad that I forgot. I'm glad that I forgot a lot of what happened in these episodes, like, these chapters. That was awesome. That was so good.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was a point where he, like, did he try to steal One for All and it didn't work? Okay.
He tried to steal One for All, but I think due to the nature of the fact that it is, like, I can't remember why. It will be covered in the next episode of how that happened. But I love how fucking Deku's like, oh god, oh
don't
fuck,
do
oh
that.
no,
don't. Like, yeah, he immediately thought, like, people who use this power, like, their bodies can't take it. It's going to injure them. You have to slowly adapt. He's like, he stole it.
Yeah, it's and Monoma calls it a blank. Again, that will be covered on next episode.
Expand on that. Okay.
But I found that really fucking funny. And really scary for that moment. Like, I remember reading in the manga thinking, oh god, what is gonna happen if Monoma actually gets that power? I sort of feel like, knowing that he could steal powers, it might have well been in Deku's best interest to maybe go over that before they started the match. Like, yo, Monoma, I'm not kidding. Aizawa, like, go to fucking bring in, like, what's his face? Toshinori. Seriously say, whatever you do, don't try to take my power. It will not end well for you. I'm not trying to fuck you over here. I'm just telling the truth.
But they still don't really know that it's, like, All Might's power, right? Like, that's still kind of a secret.
They don't, but you can still have people vouch for you, like, hey,
yeah,
it took me forever.
I've been training with Deku, and I know that this stuff hurts the first time you use it. Be careful.
But yeah. Also, I do love. There were some really great uses of, as I said, the art and animation in this. Like, fucking Monoma just looks and acts and moves so great. I don't know. I have nothing but good things to say about these last two episodes. In terms of, like, their production and their presentation. I did feel like I'm starting to see where they're getting a little bit exhausted with their animators, though. Like, these last two episodes, the animation was good in the parts where it needed to be, but they were starting to get a little bit more
it's very choosy on the parts that get really over the top, let's say.
I will say the scene where Deku's power goes crazy is so good. That is so frightening and so crazy. Like, it just starts destroying everything and everyone's scrambling.
I also really liked, like, it was just a really cool move when Deku was chasing down Shinso, and, like, Shinso tries to get him. Instead, he kind of just, like, pulls himself in with the scarf and, like, does this cool flip to, like, wrap himself in it to basically be like, no, you're not trapping me, I'm trapping you.
You're kind of stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that was so fucking cool. Wrapping himself in it, like, you're not getting away now.
You've activated my trap card by the effort, and it just takes him to the floor. It's quite cool.
I like how you said mother effer, because that is a very Deku thing to do.
Exactly. I'm in character.
But yeah, like, getting in close like that was actually really effective. And I also gotta give it up for Ochako in these episodes.
Yes.
Like, where she jumps in and grabs him, and that was actually the right thing to do in that moment. And she immediately thinks, Shinso, use your brainwashing. And that was actually, like, that was so good. That was actually really
She was
effective.
Maybe acting the most heroic out of everyone in that test in that moment.
Yeah. And I also really like Shinso's choice of words. That was really nice. And the moment
I like that later when, like, they're kind of going over the fight, Shinso's sort of like, I just gotta say the first thing that, like, I wasn't meaning to sound like that, or, like, however it came off, because he sounded like he said this and it really got through to me. He's like, I just kind of said something, man.
Yes. Also, I really like the effect of when Deku's power shows itself. The look on Toshinori, the fucking background, like, inverting, it was really effective. And yeah, when the actual power goes crazy and starts destroying everything, and fucking, I like how, like, Toshinori is like, yo, you've got to stop the test right now. And Aizawa was like,
this isn't what I'm used to. I've been watching this kid. This ain't right.
yeah. And Aizawa was like, I don't think I'm gonna. and I love the fact that he's like, look, they're actually fighting. Their resolve is not gone. I can't stop this. That would be wrong. And fucking Vlad's like, holy crap, you're a nice dude. Fucking like
they all really care about this test, and to cancel it now would break all their hearts.
Yeah. Aizawa is such a good fucking. I like the fact that Aizawa has been proven to be absolutely a hard ass, but he's got a certain amount of affection for this particular class. He has seen something here where he's like, shit, this is actually a really special group of kids, and I shouldn't fuck them over.
It's interesting because like the hero's journey thing that everybody likes to pull from and be like, this feels like it is very clearly leading to essentially a way for All Might to kind of eventually pass away as like, a mentor passing the torch. I feel like Aizawa is stepping up as a teacher so much that they are going to kind of, I fear for his life, because I feel like we are setting him up as a very good sacrificial lamb in the future.
Oh man,
and
you think they're gonna kill Aizawa later?
I feel like they could kill Aizawa later, and I feel like that would be a narrative going thing. And I'm not gonna look at chat. No idea if this is something that's ever happened in the manga or whatever. I don't want to be confirmed or denied.
Yeah, remember chat. Spoilers. No spoilers for the manga. No spoilers.
Yes, I am anime only boy. But I feel like he has been like, it's not that he wasn't present and stuff earlier on, but I feel like kind of every season they are tipping more and more like, Aizawa really cares about these kids and he's paying attention, and like he is becoming, like he's a teacher and a mentor, but he is kind of more than that to them now. And it's, or like, this relationship he is building is like one that he really cares about, and obviously the students do too. So it's this, I feel like they are really setting him up to kind of be like this, we're gonna make you feel for him so that when he has to go, it's really gonna hurt.
Yeah, I also really like the time that we got that we had spent with him and Shinso. I like how Shinso's like, it took you years to master this ability. How can I master it in this short of time? And Aizawa
I didn't have a teacher.
Yeah, Aizawa makes a good point. It's like, no, you don't understand. I had to do it on my own. I'm going to teach you how to do this. It's going to go way faster.
I'm giving you all the shortcuts. Here's the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah. And also, it is amazing how much Shinso is the perfect protege to Aizawa. It's almost like, it kind of feels like Horikoshi didn't plan that, but after later he was like, I kind of want to bring Shinso back. Huh. Aizawa, that's how I do it.
It's like, how would I do it? Well, I've got other heroes who kind of work without super strong frontline powers. What do? Aizawa's kind of like that. Wait a minute. That seems like a good. What if?
Yeah, I really like that. It's a really good use of both Aizawa as a teacher and a mentor, and a great way to reintroduce Shinso, and we see that at full effect here.
And it's reinforcing how cool that scarf thing he wears is.
The scarf thing is pretty fucking cool. It's
quickly becoming one of my favorite hero tools and something I would totally get.
It also makes very little sense, but superhero world, whatever. It's fine.
It's a little science fiction fantasy.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, I'm not really sure what too much more to say. We actually get to see a little bit of the user of Black Whip. He's cool. Mm-hmm. I like him. I like his look.
Seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, I like how I do like how Deku's like, he reminds me of All Might. And yeah,
he's kind of got a little bit of the same swagger.
Yeah, I like that, and I also like how I'm really glad that fucking the Black Whip guy was like, oh yeah, and by the way, your version is way stronger than the one I used, and he doesn't like get all fucking like shitty about it either. He doesn't like, it's like, yours is admittedly stronger than mine. He's like, no, yours is way stronger. Be fucking careful, kid.
It's like, look, you've got you've got some juice pumping through you. It's gonna change it for you.
Yeah. So I like that.
I liked Ashido picking up on she's always given Uraraka a little bit of trouble with her crush on Deku.
Because she's the fucking matchmaker, and
she's little Cupid in this class, and she's like, hey, so yeah, when you hug Deku all nice and tight, way to save the day. And just like, look, I just did what any hero would do at the time. It wasn't.
Speaking of, there was definitely a lot of fan service. Like, just noticeably, like, it was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's noticeable, especially with Ashido and that one. Though actually, I can't remember who it was, but the girl who can shrink and grow items. There was that fucking.
I definitely like to have some shots of them. We put the camera at just the right angle for some.
Especially when I
titillating silhouettes.
I believe that it is. So when Ochako, I think she comes in and throws herself into the bosom of the girl who can grow and shrink stuff, and I'm like, okay, show, that's fine. But yeah,
do what you must.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. Like the real explanation of So next episode, I don't know if you paid attention to the next episode preview. It is basically the denouement. What is it? Denouement? Falling action.
Ennui.
Yeah. It's the falling action. No, denouement is reason for. No, damn it. I always mix up denouement with It might be denouement. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure it's denouement.
Yeah, the next episode's falling action, where we get a bunch of explanation and reflection. Also, I don't know if you remember the scene with All for One.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of tipped at that. We also talked a little bit about like how he's just kind of growing minion. I think it was, I can't remember if it was this episode or last week's, but All Might and Gran Torino basically sort of talking like, man, some stuff's getting a little crazy there, and he's got follow, or was it, maybe it was the people watching him, but someone mentioning like, the league isn't the only loyalists he's got. He's got people he's got a network spread out all over the place of people who know him and want to work for him.
Yeah.
We really need to be on guard.
That
one big guy was confirmed as just a follower for him. I feel like we knew that, but I wasn't sure.
I'm so fucking psyched. I won't lie to you, man. Oh, okay. I was thinking raison d'etre. So I had denouement. It was right. Fuck. I second guessed it. Damn you, French. You
nice
tricky bitch.
Stupid nonsense language.
Stupid language. You made me look bad. But yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think it is a spoiler to say, yeah, the All for One stuff's going somewhere.
He seems like a character you wouldn't just throw in prison and say, and that was the end of him.
I mean, right? I mean, you could if he had been really, truly, utterly defeated, but there's definitely a bit of
But no, like you would need to really like him being arrested is not him being defeated. Like at least not if this is anything like any comic book story ever, him being in prison is like only phase 1.
It did freak me out a little bit. Like it was very effective when they're talking about him and he's like, sorry about that. And it's like, oh God, dude, why?
He's just
How?
Listening.
What? How?
I've got like every power there is. I know how to listen through walls.
But you don't know how many powers I've got. Don't worry. I just was thinking about how much I love pumpkin pie. I mean, never mind. That's not it.
Not to take it away from this topic real quick, but something that they did kind of fill in on that I was curious about. They did go a little bit more into Monoma's power, about like how many powers he can get, if he can sort of stockpile them versus whatever he's using is what he's got. So I'm trying to remember, was it like he can use them for up to 10 minutes, he said, or maybe that was a bluff, but it used to be 5 minutes, but he said he could do it for 10 now. And I think he said he could store 4.
I think it's 3 actually.
3 powers? Okay.
Yeah, because he has the 3 watches.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's only 3 powers because he uses the growing and shrinking technique. We see him use that, and we also see him use the ability to move.
He uses second
things.
Impact.
But then finally he uses second impact.
Okay, so he just took all those 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I because I wasn't sure, because at some point they said he could take multiple powers, but he can't use multiple at once. And when I heard that, I took that as like when he uses one, he deletes whatever the last one he took.
Oh, apparently he can use 4. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, the watches are a bluff. Okay. That sounds right for Monoma.
And he tried to steal all for 1, and that was his 4th. Okay.
Yeah.
But it came up blank, which I'm guessing means he stole it basically in its base form before it had absorbed anything or gone through anybody.
You know what? So I actually can't remember why. Because again, it has been a long.
You said they might talk about it more in the next episode or something.
I feel a little bit bad about that. I really love this manga, but some of the smaller details do get lost on me because I haven't read it in so long. And
there's a lot to keep track of.
There's a lot to keep track of. So I actually forgot why that is, and you might be right. It might be that he just took the quirk one for all, and which is
really not that powerful on its own.
Yeah, so that would be really that's interesting. I wonder that might actually be the reason.
I mean, that's where my logic went when that's what happened. Because if his body didn't explode from too much power suddenly coursing through him, my option then is like, well, that he's getting it in its original state.
Yeah, that's a really intuitive and I think correct way to go about it. So hey, I called it. Look at you, you're so smart. You're smart.
I pay attention to these cartoons.
And now that's a good thing, Scott. It means you can discuss without worrying about spoilers. Oh, bitch, there are so many worse spoilers that I have to worry about every time we talk. I'm glad I forgot this because, it's small, but there are the real big ones that are the problem. Like me saying that. There are lots
of times where I've said things and seen chat go, don't look at Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, all right. I said something that was close to correct or
actually, no.
Way off.
You never have to worry about the look on my face because the look on my face will never, like, whether or not you're right or you're wrong.
Stone-faced.
Yeah, well, no. But I will make a face, but that doesn't mean you're right or wrong. It will never mean that you're right or you're wrong. It'll only mean...
Just saying it's interesting.
But it will probably mean that you're very wrong or that you're very right or close to right. I remember... Oh, God, I can't remember what it was. Like a couple episodes ago, that one face that I made. I can't even remember what it was, but... It's been a really... So now you can see why I've been what I've been looking forward to this season, by the way. You can probably see now why I was like, hold on, just wait for it.
The season's going to kick off in a cool way.
Yeah. In fact, if I'm going to be honest with you, the last 4 episodes have been nothing but bangers.
Yeah, these episodes have all been good.
Yeah.
I feel like this most recent one, like, it's not that it was bad, but it definitely, coming off of last week's, which was such a, like, whoa, game changer. This one definitely felt like kind of a back to kind of somewhat status quo.
Yeah, but... it was when you were talking about like, what if Monoma copied Deku's quirk, and that's what had me like. That was. It was really funny too because you guys pieced it together like, oh wait, what'll happen to him? And I'm like, oh boy. It doesn't really like
that would be curious.
It doesn't really go anywhere in particular, other than like set up for a moment of oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's more the other things that happened during that time.
Actually, that scene was one of the ones that I do love the oh shit moments in these last couple of episodes. Like that's why I don't hate this arc. I don't even know if this arc is the worst arc. Because they have a couple of moments in here that are legitimately really good.
I like this arc, I think, better than the provisional license exam. Like, not that I thought that part was bad, but that's part that definitely felt like it was paced worse.
The provisional license exam, which one was that?
That's the one where like where the wind guy was. That's where we had.
Yeah. You know what? If I'm gonna be okay,
I think that's probably my weakest arc if I had to guess one.
I'll be fucking honest with you. I agree, and I agree mostly because it did really feel like we weren't going a whole lot of play like
that one. That one felt like what this one is doing, which is like it was trying to do what this one is doing well. This one is like kind of showing everyone's powers and giving you a real good like, oh, everyone's sort of done something with their power to make it cooler or like has something really cool to contribute here. That one felt a lot more like we're going to show you everybody kind of doing what they do.
I think that I think that one had the benefit of being great character development for Todoroki and Bakugo. in ways that weren't like the same problems that they've had before, or at least it finally confronted one of Bakugo's bigger problems while it introduced a new one that we hadn't really picked up on with Todoroki, and I liked that.
Yeah, like good stuff definitely happened in it. It's just I feel like if we were to pick a weakest arc, my brain would maybe go there. Also, maybe the kind of summer camp stuff, but I feel like that wasn't really a whole arc. That was just sort of a brief
I actually
thing.
really liked the summer camp stuff, though, if only because it felt like we were finally getting moments with the whole cast that were.
That's true. We hadn't really had a whole class thing by then.
Yeah, I was actually really happy with that, and also
we hadn't in a bit.
And where it went was fucking great.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? You're right. The league busting in and that stuff was actually all really cool.
Also, fucking dude, Monoma is Monoma actually actively embracing the fact that like, no, I have to be a deceptive hero. I have to be
like
a guy.
That's how my power is gonna work.
Yeah, the fact that his whole thing is deception and antagonization, it helps color his character so far. But oh man, the moment where he says like, oh, like Bakugo after he got stolen like that, and like I was like,
yeah, like he's got to say the mean stuff to get you to react.
Yeah, how hard do you think that is actually for him though? Like, because Monoma, as you can see, isn't actually a bad guy. He plays it up for what he's trying to do. What a harsh thing. Like, man, in that moment, I'm like, you are a piece of shit, but I get why you're doing it. And
but you're making it work.
Yeah. Sorry. It's just, man, like Monoma went from being the worst of the two classrooms, tied with Mineta, to like B tier, honestly, just in like 2 episodes.
No, yeah, he worked his way up very well.
Yeah. I really like that. And then like, and funny enough, paired with Shinso, another character who has to be actively deceptive and aggressive and mean. I don't know. It's a really good dynamic. I really like how like the fact that Monoma has to like tells. I like when Monoma says like, you know, you and me, we're actually a lot alike. And the first thing that Shinso says is, I don't like that.
Like, yeah.
So I don't want that. But Monoma gives a pretty good explanation of like, no, we really are a lot like each other. We're
gonna have to be
heroes.
Silver-tongued.
Yeah.
People are gonna have to talk to us to mess up.
And yeah, sorry, I could go on about this because I don't know. I really liked these episodes. I have also just fun time being able to just talk about something I like.
Also forgot to mention, like we were talking about Deku's new power and stuff. I liked that he did not shy away from using it. Like he was like, okay, this new power is a thing I've got. My assumption was going to be he was going to have that explosion, and then like, all right, let's play out the rest of the test just totally normal. Let's not try to use this new scary thing that I don't know. We'll save that for a training arc later. I was glad that he was kind of just immediately like, all right, this is part of my arsenal now. I need to understand that it works through me. It's going to do what I tell it to. I just got to maintain control. So it was pretty neat that he was just immediately like, all right, I'm going to use this to catch the barrels or whatever that Shinso was throwing at me. Like, I'm going to use this shit. And that cheered me up because I really thought we were going to have to wait a while before he like ever busted it out on something.
Yeah. He did give the classic "that's not a power I'll be able to use for a while" quote, which yeah, obviously they're like, well, all right, we've introduced this now, but we can't obviously make it a mainstay yet.
He's still gonna train it at least a little bit.
Yeah, but it's good. It's also, I like how everyone's like, that is way different from his usual quirk. What the fuck is going on?
I liked the candor afterwards when everyone's like, Deku, what was that about? And he's like, I don't know. That's the first time anything like that's ever happened. Thank God you guys were there and got me out of it.
Yeah. Is there anything else we're missing? I want to make sure because I think we're about to wrap up. How about you?
I liked Second Impact guy decking Mineta. That was pretty fun. He lands a really good punch on him.
Yeah.
Cool. I wish we got to see that guy do more because like he's got his cool Second Impact power, but it seems like he's like kind of a tough dude if he was just able to stop him dead in his tracks like that.
One thing I want to say about Twin Impact guy. His name is Nirengeki Shota. Nirengeki Shota. His name, fucking Horikoshi referred to it as his greatest naming achievement to date.
Whoa.
Yes. So the reason is, put together, the first and second characters of the first name mean double, Niren, meaning his first name means double attack, and his last name is homophonous with the Japanese word palm strike, Shoda. So his name literally means palm strike, double impact. Nirengeki Shoda.
So it's basically just a living attack.
Yes. And yeah, like fucking Horikoshi was like, this is the best name I've ever made. Honestly, his best hero name is still coming up. It's a while off. And it's of a character. Well, okay, actually I won't say. But
okay.
there is one coming up that may be one of his best for a billion reasons. But yeah. Yep, that's basically it. Yeah, Horikoshi. Oh yeah, by the way, if you ever want to go on a deep dive, just go to the My Hero Academia wiki and look at people's names. It is a billion puns. A billion different puns. Every character is just a billion different fucking puns.
Hidden jokes all over the place.
That's why it's like I said with fucking Bakugo and Bakusatsuo. I was like,
no, yeah,
fucking,
that's good.
Yeah, that one is so good, and it's so sad that in English it makes him sound like a full-on idiot. Where if you read
just a barbarian.
Yeah, where in Japanese it's like, that's really inappropriate but super clever. It just sucks because it anyway, we've gone over that. I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for joining us for another week of My Hero Academia reviews. This has been episode 11 of season 5, Our Brawl. And yeah, Deku's diversifying his quirks. Next week, we will have the whole band back together. It'll be myself, Grant, and Lanipator. And we'll be covering, what was the next episode? Oh shit, I had that open and then I closed it because I'm an idiot. The next episode 12, it's just basically a breakdown of everything that happened. But until then, everybody,
follow up.
Yeah, stay safe, get vaccinated if you haven't already, and if you can,
get them shots.
Yeah, and I'll see you next Monday. Later.